need to worry about Michigan stuff because they're so far back in the rearview mirror. I'm not even paying attention to Michigan. Ohio State is closer in the rearview mirror. Penn State is there, and they have a home game on the 13th of October. That's a big game for Sparty, who that should be the only problem they have all year long, except Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship. So let's get over this old ridiculous Harbaugh and what's it, Shea Patterson? Just knock it off. Stop. So you got one more thing about you know that Jim Harbaugh's record is very, very similar to his predecessor Brady Hoke that was ran out of town. Rich Rod was ran out of town. They ran Lloyd Carr out of town. The only championship in the last 50, 60 years for the University of Michigan, you run that winner out of town. It's not really a championship. They split it. And obviously, the BCS started the very next year because we voted Michigan. Well, UCF just voted themselves a national championship. Who cares? No one cares. Beat somebody. Man, if Michigan State would have, if Michigan would have played Nebraska in 97, Nebraska would have beat them 50-0. So that little shared championship that they put on it, I don't even count it. It's like their last win was in like 1874 or something like that. It's a joke program. But I know that the way that the University of Michigan fans, now I like that the players, the people that played there, actual movers and shakers for the University of Michigan are calling Harbaugh out because they know he's a fraud. It's like, dog, you are making $9 million a season. You got to start earning this money. You don't get into the Michigan State game up 2 points or 1 point, whatever it was, and in 2015 and send two gunners wide when Michigan State doesn't have anybody back. So your protection's already down one person. Then you send a gunner out, so you're now two people on a max protect when you need to protect the punter, who's a rugby-style kicker anyway. He's going to try to just pooch down there. It's just poor coaching. He's been out-coached in most of the games that he's coached in. He's been definitely out-coached. Urban Meyer owns him. Like that. Urban Meyer treats him like his little kid. And so does D'Antonio. Like, he's a kid. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He definitely doesn't. But the douchery that's the University of Michigan and their fan base, they just swallow up that Harbaugh. It's like, get over it. He's a clown. Matter of fact, I saw on Red Cedar on the website that Michigan State fans are going to kick in like they was offering to do with Brady Hoke. They're going to kick in and keep Harbaugh there. $9 million per. Because that is a bye week for Sparty. So everyone would love for him to stay around just a little bit longer. Clown show in Ann Arbor. The players, the coaches, especially the ugly fan base for the University of Michigan, go away. We have to get into this because I am irritated about it. Do you know what yesterday was? Cinco de Mayo. Everybody's expecting the Triple G Canelo Alvarez fight, and they postponed it because Canelo Alvarez got caught cheating. No other way to slice it. He is cheating. Performance-enhancing drugs in his system, suspended for 6 months. The fight's off. It might be in November, but whatever. Who cares? It was supposed to be last night. And everyone knows. It's no secret. I believe Triple G is the best fighter in the game right now. Everyone that I've ever talked, he's undefeated. He certainly would not have lost to Floyd Clown Mayweather, and as Canelo Alvarez did. And then the smart people that are around me keep telling me how Canelo Alvarez is going to punish this guy. Shout out every single one of you that thinks Canelo Alvarez can beat Triple G in a fight. Hit me up. Send me a message. We'll bet whatever you want on it. Triple G is the real deal. But if I was him, and I'm making no mistake about this, if I was Triple G right now, I'm not even fighting Canelo Alvarez. It is a big payday, and it's easy for me to say, but I'm telling you, if I'm if I'm Triple G, I'm not even fighting him. He's cheating. He already ruined a big payday for me. Man, go get something from somebody else, because Canelo Alvarez is a clown. Somebody check for me, check the stats and find out. Did he go to the University of Michigan? Because he's a clown like them. He fits right in there. So this is a big payday. It's toxic. This whole thing that's surrounding this thing is toxic. He needs to let it go. So the commission should have, if it was up to me, I would just suspend it for 2 years, not just 6 months. That's really just one fight. All you did was suspend it for one fight. You should have sent a message, and these guys would quit doing this crap, ruining fights. I mean, I was all set for this fight, and it's gone, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Again, like I said, if I was Triple G, I wouldn't waste my time. Like, tell Canelo Alvarez, go away. He's not that important anyway, and obviously he's cheating to try to catch up with you, so get him off there. Joke. On to hockey. Fans of the NHL. Now, I'm not sure how much of my fan base is fans of the NHL, but I certainly am. I'm not a fan of the NHL. I am a fan of one player in the NHL who makes the game so very exciting, and his name is Alexander Ovechkin, one of the most exciting players I've ever seen. I was watching a highlight. It was like about 2000. I don't even know what year it was. He scored a goal, run and jumped into the glass, and I was like, that's new and fresh. I love that. I love that he engages the fans like that. So anyway, I started watching, become a fan of his, and because I'm a fan of Ovechkin's, I kind of had to be a fan of the Capitals, even though I'm not. I don't really like him. I don't like the people that are around him, but I am not a fan of the center in Pittsburgh. I don't even say his name. Another player that probably went to Michigan too, but he tends to be able to. He's a good player. That's why I don't think he went to Michigan, because he actually is a good player. But he seems to pull out the theatrics when necessary, and then it's been a couple of times when Washington had the upper hand on them. You know, they were up and they had the chance to put him away, and Pittsburgh stormed back, and they're back-to-back NHL Stanley Cup champions. And big win last night. 3-2 at the end of the second. Ovechkin and Kuznetsov and they brought that rookie up. I can't think of what his name was, Aronoff or whatever. Anyway, they bring him in. They all get goals. They have a big four goal third period, and they win 6-3, 3-2 lead, going back to Pittsburgh. But they had Game 7 at home, so it's all up to Ovi again. I've been let down in the past, so I'm not gonna. This is the year. I'm saying it. I'm going on record right now. Ovechkin and them get it done this year and go on. I like them to win the cup this year. PK Subban is struggling. The Preds are struggling. I'm not caught up in that Las Vegas hype. I'm just not. They won a series and they're winning, but I don't get carried away with it. Experience will win in the end. I think the Caps. I'm not a fan of Braden Holtby. I don't know what he can. I've seen him in pressure situations fold under the pressure, so I'm not a big fan of his. And it all hinges on goalies. Your goaltending is going to win or lose a series, and he's so inconsistent. I don't think that it will ever be a time that everyone is like, oh, yeah, Braden Holtby, he's got us this time. So ain't no telling what's going to happen, but I like the Capitals. I think that I like Ovi, Alexander Ovechkin, and I think that this is the year. So fingers crossed. It might be the year. Now we have to switch gears and go over to the NFL, and this is going to fall under the nonsense category, and I'm just going to call it what it is. This is craptaculous crap at its highest form right now. NFL cheerleaders made the news this week. Are you kidding me? NFL cheerleaders. Like, when is the last time? Remember, $40 for parking, $40 for vending, $100 for a ticket, $180. People do not spend hundreds of dollars at NFL stadiums to watch cheerleaders. It is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. No one's like, hey, I wonder what the lead cheerleader is going to do this week. No one, ever. It's nice eye candy while you're there, but that's it. And women, I'm sorry if you're sick about this, but it's the facts. No one gives a damn about the cheerleaders. They're second or third there. That's like saying I'm going to go to the Michigan State game to watch the marching band. The marching band gets you stirred up so that you can watch the football game, which you came there for. NFL cheerleaders are like University of Michigan. It's clown status. They look nice. It looks nice. It's good to look at, but that's all that it is. So this is what it is. The cheerleaders are suing for better pay and better treatment. Like the owners or the people associated with the NFL are treating them poorly. Look, there are thousands, probably millions of pretty women in the world with no other marketable skills that will stand on the sideline, jump up and down, and wear a skimpy uniform for very low money. The skill level for this is not high. Contrary to what a lot of our cheerleading friends might say, it doesn't take a lot of skills to stand over there and kick your legs and shake pom-poms. It just doesn't. You're not running a sub 4.340. You're not slamming into other 300-400 pound guys out here. You're standing on the sideline, smiling, looking pretty. And somehow they think they have the right to sue. This is what's wrong with the NFL in sports in general. It's these bleeding hearts that are getting in here and saying this ridiculous nonsense that a cheerleader has some rights. What right does a cheerleader have? What are you bringing to this organization? Zero. You look good. Well, newsflash, chicks. Lots of girls look good. Your services are they don't carry over. General Motors is not going to hire you as vice president because you look good, because you dance and sing. This is just ridiculous, and this is exactly what's wrong with sports. I heard earlier this week that some players, I think Nigel Hayes or some out of Wisconsin, was like, we were going to boycott a Final Four game. First of all, no kids boycotting a Final Four game. Like, you're this close to a national championship. That's a big deal. Hardly one team a year gets the national championship. So, and then they're like, well, what if we get all four teams to boycott? Never happened. It would never, ever happen that four teams boycotted. It is insane to think that. Now, I'm the first one to go on a record and say the kids that are playing college sports need to be taken care of differently. This is above my pay grade. I don't know what the answer is. There are smarter people than me. Very few. But there are a few people who are smarter than me that can go on here and figure this thing out. But paying them a wage, not going to work. It isn't going to work because the boosters with the deepest pockets are going to get the best players. And that's, let's just say Oklahoma or Texas with all the oil money. Their boosters are sick down there. And they're throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at, when you start paying players. Now, all of a sudden, Texas, they're in the rearview mirror. No one's even thinking about Texas football. Now, all of a sudden, they're front and center because they get all the best players because they can afford to pay them because they're boosters. That's just, it would take someone like the University of Michigan who has very little boosters and no money. No one would ever go to Michigan. It would be embarrassing. So, whatever. This needs to get fixed. But anyway, back to the cheerleader issue. This is a note that I want to send to Roger Goodell. Fire every single cheerleader that is affiliated with the National Football League right now. You can replace them. This is the type of garbage, like I was saying, that is ruining sports. It's just ruining it. Guys like me who love sports don't want to sit and listen to a woman talking about that was a vicious hit. They just don't want to hear that stuff. They don't want to hear it. Like when you watch a football game, this is time for us to chill, hang out with our mans, and watch some Neanderthals out there. Maybe remember when we were younger. This is what we do, escape.